Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing as the Knicks take care of business at home at MSG. Defeat the Chicago Bulls 116-100 off a huge performance from Randle, Jalen Brunson, Isaiah Hartenstein, career high. Let's get ready to chop this thing up with the best chat in the biz. Salute Knicks Nation. It was a feel-good win as the New York Knicks closed it out strong against the Bulls, crushed the Bulls in the fourth quarter off the back of a 19-4 run. OG Anunoby, second game as a New York Knick. He delivered once again defensively. A lot of deflections, lockdown defense, huge in the plus-minus. But like I said, man, Isaiah Hartenstein, 5 blocks, career high 20 rebounds. Did yeoman's work tonight in the paint against Andre Drummond, and the Knicks now go 19-15 on the season. How we feeling, Knicks Nation? Welcome into the post-game live with CT. After a feel-good win, the New York Knicks now 19-15, and we're half a game back of the 4th seed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll look around the league later in the show after we've given out the grades and the game ball tonight. But welcome in. Feels good to take care of business, beat another bad team at home. And like we said in the last show, the schedule is finally easing up a little bit. We've got a really tough game coming up with Philly, a division rival. But then we got Washington and we got Portland. So we can really possibly go on a 5-game win streak before we have to hit the road again next week in Dallas. But Randle and Brunson, 30-plus piece each. And OG Anunoby finished with 11 points on efficiency. DiVincenzo was solid as well. The entire starting lineup was great tonight. We'll talk about some of the bench struggles because the New York Knicks trailed at the half. This is a game where they shouldn't have trailed. It was a really poor second quarter where the New York Knicks were figuring out, the new lineups, obviously with Randle and 4 guys off the bench. I thought we got some decent minutes from Precious Achiuwa. We'll talk about him and what we could see from him moving forward. But Julius Randle continues to ball out as we see IHart with a massive swat there. And obviously the offensive firepower of the Bulls with DeRozan, Kobe White did give the Knicks a little bit of trouble in the first half, but I'm really happy with the way we closed it out. We took an 8-point lead heading into the fourth, and I just didn't really feel like we were going to let this one slip. One of the main reasons the New York Knicks did relinquish the lead was OG Anunoby got his second foul early in the second, and he needed to sit for most of the second. So we lost. We clearly were missing, OG's defensive prowess, but we picked it up when he got back in. He didn't finish with any more than 2 fouls for the rest of the game, I believe. So salute to OG and his defense later in the game. He hit a 3-ball. He hustled and got a loose ball and slammed it back down with his verticality as well. But the defense of Isaiah Hartenstein, man, his best game as a New York Knick, for real. 20 boards, 5 blocks. He had 6, but they took 1 away. So IHart was an absolute monster tonight, controlling the paint against the trees of Patrick Williams and Andre Drummond. Basically, they challenged him so many times, and he said, no, no, no. Get that weak stuff out of here, baby. I thought there was a little bit isolation, heavy ball as well in the second quarter too. But we'll talk about it later in the show because I feel like we all feel like, the roster is missing, some bench scoring. Obviously, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett. For the Raptors watch, they picked up a big win tonight on the road in Memphis. Emmanuel Quickley took the game ball. He had a huge 25-point performance tonight. So we salute our former Knicks, right? The Raptors fans are happy all over social media. But the New York Knicks are undefeated as well after making this trade. We saw OG Anunoby's, impact tonight in full effect. But yeah, tonight I want to talk about, the roster. There's a few guys out there I feel like we could add as just, bench pieces for scoring purposes, as well as obviously the big trade that we feel like, is going to come at some point shortly, later this season, perhaps in the summer. But we need, some extra bench scoring and creation, right? But the guys that we have absolutely stepped up, and we beat a team that we needed to take care of. So they were 15-20 on the season. Now the Knicks are 19-15, and fourth seed Heat are tied with fifth and sixth. Indiana picked up a big win. We'll look at the standings. 3 teams are on 19-14. We're 19-15, just half a game back of the fourth seed. Now, with Philly coming in, could the New York Knicks make another huge statement? I believe we can. I really feel like we could beat Philadelphia. We're going to continue to see this impact. It's going to be a minute before we really see, with a bigger sample size. But we saw Precious Achiuwa make a little impact tonight too. He got a couple of hustle plays here and a putback as well. He's a little rusty offensively. OG did look a little rusty too in terms of finding his position on the court. And like I said, the guys were a little bit too isolation in the second quarter. But outside of that, the New York Knicks got a team 30 assists. So we're going to look at that in a minute. 29 assists for the Knicks, which was excellent ball movement. But the turnovers hurt us early. I've talked about it. When the ball's moving more, we're going to get more turnovers. Guys were leaving their feet. And the credit to, the Bulls defense early in the game too. They were reading the play. But we came home in a flurry. Like I said, absolutely killed them in the fourth with a 19-4 run. Julius Randle was playing really great defense as well, but he was hustling down the court for fast break points as well. We're seeing a rejuvenated Randle now this season, but even further in these 2 games since the trade. And man, him and Brunson got all the shots that they wanted in this game. So we'll look at the shot chart in a minute for OG Anunoby. But as we continue to shout out the chat, salute Knicks Nation coming through the building. I see you all. Michael, Humble Down, Jason, Prezi, what's good? Geraldine. Happy New Year to everyone out here on the holidays. Hope everyone's blessed and having a great holiday season. And the new year, these new era Knicks are in the building now. Legit. 2-0, undefeated. And we head to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, and I think we're going to get that dub, and we're going to go on a 5-game win streak. That's my prediction for you all right now. But yeah, old head basically sums it up. After tonight, Isaiah Hartenstein is a free agent, and he needs to be re-signed. Big time performance. Who knows what the future holds with Mitch? Firstly, he's just got to worry about his health and getting back right. When he is back, our defense goes to a whole nother level. But have a guy like IHart here, just in case, Mitch ever goes down in the future. We need to make sure we do that. Because, yeah, he is a starting caliber center right now. What we're seeing, fam. Happy New Year to you, Geraldine. Appreciate you. Salute, Prezi. And Humble also echoes the thoughts of paying Hartenstein, our best center in a decade. 20 boards. He had 6 blocks, but 1 was taken away. 6 offensive boards, 6 blocks, 5 in the end, but double-double. Salute to IHart. We might have to give out a few game balls tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But we see the shot chart from OG. Once again, it was basically a mirror of his game 1. All those buckets under the rim, restricted area, going to work. And then the corner 3 as well. He missed a couple there, but he wasn't really in rhythm because, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more later. I don't want to be a downer because it's a good night, but there were some things we got to clean up in that second quarter. We were a little too isolation heavy, I feel. But once we get a more balanced roster in terms of a spark plug creator off the bench, one name I'm going to throw out there for you all is this man, a former New York Knick, Alec Burks, right? There's a whole list of names we could talk about. We're going to talk about it, but I really feel like he would fit excellent off the bench. He can handle, he can create, he can score a little as well. And I think Alec Burks could be had on the cheap. Let me know your thoughts. But yeah, moving ahead, we'll talk about it more later tonight. As more people come through the building, appreciate you, Knicks Nation. Salute. Replay squad. Salute. The New York Knicks are undefeated after picking up this big trade. Smash that like button. The streets are buzzing. Hit that notification bell, and you'll know when we go live, right? And I got an announcement to make. There'll be a big podcast drop tomorrow afternoon with a huge guest lined up. Get their thoughts on this big trade the Knicks have made and the road ahead and where the Knicks stack up in the East, right? Look forward to recording this podcast later, and it's going to drop tomorrow afternoon as well, so keep an eye out for that. Another big guest down the pipe, and I hit that notification bell. Now, without further ado, what we all came here to do, man, is to give out the grades tonight and the game ball. But before we do that, the New York Knicks got 6 steals, 7 blocks. Shout out to iHart once again. We shot basically 40% from deep, 51% from the field. So our percentages are going up since this trade. 29 assists, salute to the team. The ball was moving tonight, early and late. Rebounds, 57. Absolutely killed them, man. Killed Drummond on the paint. And iHart's the big king in that area. And 81% from the free throw line as well, which is great. 35 points from Julius Randle and 31 from Jalen Brunson. Now, as we bring up the box score, as you can see the numbers here, some crazy numbers tonight we're looking at right now. Let's start with Isaiah Hartenstein, because we really need to give him his flowers, and he's going to get the first game ball for me tonight. Step up to the podium, IHart. Let's read these numbers, man. 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line, 7 offensive boards, 13 defensive, 20 in total, 1 assist, 5 blocks. It was 6, but they took 1 away. Let's just say it's 6. 2 turnovers, and 10 points, and a plus 32. Ladies and gentlemen, that's insane for a game that was kind of close for most of the night. To be plus 32 is absolutely huge right now. So with that said, man, he's going to get the first game ball tonight. We're going to give out a few game balls because we just have to. It's one of those nights where guys deserve it, and they stepped up in a major way. So Isaiah Hartenstein gets the first game ball, and his grade tonight is going to be, no surprises here, he's going to get maybe the first A+ of many tonight given out, but thoroughly deserved, man. The best game of his career, it's fair to say, not just Nick career, but, I don't even have to have seen, the games with the Clippers, to say this, but, his impact was all over tonight's game, basically allowing the Knicks to out-rebound the Bulls, with the big men that they've got. That's a huge feat right there. And to be a whopping plus 32 on efficiency, 10 points. But yeah, 6 blocks, 20 rebounds. That's starting caliber numbers that you'll see from the guys like Nikola Jokic, those kind of big men right there. So that's crazy work from iHart. What do you guys feel about iHart's game tonight? Michael's in the building. What's good? Prezi says New York definitely has to figure out the money. Yep. If they get DeJounte as anticipated, you have to factor in the extension kicking in, OG's extension, and find money for iHart. That's worth it. Yeah, we will see. I can't talk about Mitch right now and his future too much because, the man's got to get healthy, and I want just that to be the focus, but it's fair to say Mitch's future, in terms of long-term future, we don't know right now. He's suffered from some significant injuries for a few seasons now. But yeah, we do got to do some shrewd business, I feel. Humble down, plus 32 tonight. That's huge. But OG Anunoby We're going to talk about him in a second, but he was a team high plus 35 in 34 minutes as well. Lee's in the building saying we got to keep IHart at all costs. Well, you know, when I hear the word cost, man, I could hear the money going up every single second now. But yeah, these guys, he's CAA as well, so that's good news. You know, we like to take care of CAA, so I'm sure there's some money left over somewhere out there. But yeah, this could be a guy that helps save our season, basically. I mean, you know, there was a lot of people say that the season was a wash, you know, when Mitch went down. It might have been a bit of an overreaction, but in terms of what IHart's doing now, I think he's starting to really make people kind of calm down a little bit, you know, in terms of filling in for Mitch, you know, in his absence, but not just filling in for the sake of it, man. He's absolutely dominating, you know, and making a huge impact, you know, in the paint as well. So, I mean, with this performance, best game as a career for his career, you know, as a big man in the league. We're going to continue to give out his flowers, man. But with that said, there's going to be many more big grades given out for tonight. IHart, continue to produce, fella. You're doing a great job tonight. Yeah, you basically held us down big time. So salute. Jalen Brunson's up next. His performance tonight, 31 points on plus 31 as well. Brunson showed a lot of energy tonight defensively too. 13 assists, big time. 4 turnovers, had some struggles, like I said, in the second quarter, but the ball was moving like a hot potato. He was 13 of 22, almost 60% from the field, 44% from 3, 4 of 9. And 3 fouls only, 31 points on plus 31 as well. I mean, Jalen Brunson hit big shot tonight after big shot. He was able to operate in the mid-range. What I did observe, guys, was that there was more spacing. Definitely. Brunson had a little bit more room to kind of pull up in that mid-range area. I feel like they were definitely worried about the three-point shooting of DiVincenzo and OG. So Brunson capitalized, you know, he drove into traffic a couple of times, but he definitely capitalized with the shooting, was efficient as well. Big night for Jalen Brunson. He gets an A+ as well for me. Definitely took command of this game. 38 minutes. We need to get this man some extra, we need to get this team some extra help off the bench, because I don't want to help, you know, I don't want to run Brunson and Randle into the ground, you know, and tonight we needed to stagger their minutes. I think it's a smart move from Thibodeau. We'll talk about it more later in terms of Tibbs's schemes, but the rotations are new. Now, obviously, we need scoring off the bench with Randle staying with the bench lineup and Brunson sitting earlier. It worked, but it definitely had its warts. So we do need to get this guy some extra help with a point guard off the bench and some scoring. I do feel like Malachi Flynn might just get an opportunity if Deuce McBride can't hit shots. So Deuce is the first guy. We talked about it. He's going to get all the chances first. But once Malachi Flynn gets healthy in about a week or two, by then he's going to be able to suit up. And I think, you know, offensively he provides maybe a little bit more than Deuce off the bench. But Brunson, definitely heroic again. 38 minutes, playing like an all-star. 13 assists is another huge feat. You know, we don't see these kind of numbers. Now that we've got more shooting, we got more shot makers. So I think Brunson's assists are definitely going to start to go up with more reps as well, guys. So what do you feel with Brunson? Vaughn's going 3 A+ tonight. Yep, I feel you on that. You know there's another one coming after this. So, I mean, there's not too much else to stew on with Jalen Brunson. Like I said, I think he hit the shots when we needed it. He was driving. He was still aggressive. He tried to kick it out a couple of times, but they were just, in the passing lane with the Bulls, and I think that was a result of a couple of his turnovers. But it really wasn't a poor situation with Brunson and handling the ball. It was just, the defense was hustling on the Chicago side, and I thought Brunson's shot selection was decent. Once again, 44% from three is a luxury we can afford to have from our point guard. And right now he's outplaying so many players around the league. I don't know if you guys know, but the Milwaukee Bucks went down again like a smoking hot mess to the Indiana Pacers tonight. We'll talk about the league. I think he's outplaying Damian Lillard, absolutely. I think there's not that many point guards in the East that should even come close to taking an all-star spot from Brunson. I think once we climb the standings by the deadline, by the trade period, by the all-star break, I think Jalen Brunson is going to be, one of the best point guards in the East. He should be an all-star. Let's vote him in, and let's get it done, fam. So he's absolutely coming to play. He's producing, and I think with more reps, he's going to get more assists, like I said. He's going to play probably a little more minutes until we get the bench unit sorted out offensively. So stay tuned with that. Now, the next man up, right? Out of the three, we kind of saved the biggest for last because I felt like Julius Randle offensively and his impact on tonight was the biggest nick, especially with his efficiency, 3 of 7 from 3. So he did put up more threes tonight. But before you go through the numbers and give out the grades, let's just get it done with and give the second game ball to Julius Randle. Also a gold star for his signature all-star, all-NBA type performance. Now his numbers was 13 of 23. He was 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 3 of 7 from deep, 6 boards, 4 assists. He got 2 steals and a block. Just 3 turnovers, 3 fouls, and 35 points on a plus 13. He was running the floor. He was definitely full of energy. He had an extra pep in his step, Randle, and I felt it last game. And I really feel like he's rejuvenated. I think, this trade has kind of rejuvenated a few people around the Knicks, you could tell. Not saying that they wanted the other Knicks to go. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, sometimes a little shake-up, does make people get rejuvenated a bit in terms of their roles, being tinkered with a little, extra usage. A guy who's going to help on the defensive side in OG, it's going to help Brunson and Randle, save up extra energy as well. So big time performance from Randle. What we're doing more, I feel like, is we're getting Randle downhill. We're also making sure that Randle, has the opportunity to post up. If he's got the smaller guy on him, he's backing his man down in the block. And he's also, willing, passing the ball out, 4 assists tonight as well. But he's scoring more efficiently because he's getting better looks. Prior to tonight, he was shooting less threes, but tonight could be a glimpse of what we see maybe go up, which is the 3-point attempts and the efficiency as well. For 3 of 7 is perfect. That's the perfect sweet spot, I feel like, for Randle with the threes. But obviously, they want to take what the defense gives them. Tom Thibodeau keeps preaching that, So I think he's doing a better job processing the game, and he's also making good reads. So much, much better play from Randle. But yeah, I do feel like OG Anunoby's defense in the middle and it's just anchoring the starting lineup with his defense with the big man IHart, and I feel like it's helping these other guys, as well, getting on the break, saving a bit of energy. We saw Randle run the break tonight so many times, which was huge. So yes, sir, Michael, Randle's getting the second game ball tonight. IHart the first one, and Julius the second one. Yep. Tom's in the building, says Jules forced too much on Bus, caused a lot of turnovers. Need more of DiVincenzo as well. I think, yeah, these guys are definitely forcing it in the second quarter. I mentioned that earlier, and I'll talk about a bit more about that later. But right now, I feel like it just is what it is. Right, there are two biggest gunners. What they probably need to do is recognize the right time to swing the ball. Sometimes the soft double comes, not just the hard double. If the soft double comes, they could probably force the issue a little bit more. Once the hard double comes, yeah, they need to get that ball moving quick. You saw Randle get frustrated at his teammates when, I think it was Deuce McBride, Alan Hahn called it out. The hard double came really fast, and Randle didn't see it coming when he's back to the basket. So yeah, the teammates got to do a good job at also calling that out as well, because Randle doesn't have eyes at the back of his head either. So, but yeah, once these guys start to figure out more chemistry, I feel like the turnover should go down as well. I didn't really feel like they forced too many bad shots. I thought, given the volume was incredibly high for the two gunners, I thought the shot selection was okay. But I think there was a stretch, especially in that second and third, where OG Anunoby could have got more shots up. He could have swung around, got the dribble hand off. Yeah, just given those guys a couple of possessions off, it give the defense, a little bit more to work with. But I think it's still early. You can't judge it too harshly because it's the second game. Yeah, we were playing a bad team as well. But look, man, Randle's been an absolute tear. Shout out to not just for tonight, but his recent play. He's definitely an all-star this year. We could book it. We could make plans. We can pencil that in. I don't see Randle not making the all-star game. Right, he would have to be in the top 3 power forwards in the East right now. The way he's playing, probably top 1, top 2 in terms of his stretch. Right, the numbers are out there. It's a ridiculous stretch right now. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon. He's going to continue to dominate right now. And we've got the Philadelphia 76ers. We've got Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid to go up against. So that's huge. Now, let's hit on OG Anunoby. His second game as a New York Knick. Again, welcome again, OG Anunoby, to the squad. Undefeated since you've been a New York Knick. Let's keep it rolling. Let's beat Philadelphia. OG's game, man. Big minutes. 5 of 9 on efficiency, but 1 of 4 from 3. Missed a couple of the corner threes. One of them was really well contested. But 8 rebounds, 2 assists and 2 steals. 11 points and a plus 35 team high. So there's no questioning his impact once again, right? With OG, we're not going to be looking at the point specifically like we were with IQ and RJ Barrett. With OG, I'm going to be watching more the efficiency and the plus minus, because last game he was the best Knick in the plus minus. He was plus 19. Tonight, he's the best Knick once again in the plus minus, plus 35. Right? There's no ignoring OG's impact defensively. He got deflections tonight. He got the 2 steals. Turned the water off of DeMar DeRozan. He was torching us in the second, but then DeMar just didn't do anything after that, really. And that was because OG was in foul trouble. Like I said, once OG got back in the game in the third with no foul trouble, we saw his steady ever play defensively, right positioning, switchability, ability to hustle and get those loose balls, those rebounds. I'm impressed by his verticality. It seems like he's able to just reach for the floor, grab the ball, half a second later he's up in the air, putting it back down as well. So that's huge what we see in these 2 games. I think the 3-point shot, we know what it is. Tonight wasn't that efficient from 3, but was efficient from the field. Uh, Hangs around the dunker spot, which I like. His cutting was excellent tonight once again. I just think Brunson and Randle were just in wreck mode. That they didn't really they didn't find him on a couple of occasions. But OG got to keep cutting. I like the way that he relocates himself on the floor. The player movement is key, as well as the ball movement. He's just a fine off-ball player as well. He's a better off-ball player than he is on-ball right now. Obviously, we need to see more in terms of creation. That's something that's talked about that OG wants to showcase. With this club right now, with this fit, we've obviously got two heavy ball-dominant players, so his off-ball movement and shooting, like Devo, is going to be key to freeing up Brunson and Randle as well. But I would like OG to get a few shots a game off the bounce. I think that's important for his development still. He's only 26. He obviously wants a big payday. I don't think he's going to be too thrilled being here, just being a corner dude, but I do think he's going to get more shots up offensively as the practices, the games come along. Right now, we're just utilizing him to his best strengths, I think, which is totally fine. But yeah, I would like him to come off the curl a little bit. A couple of post ups as well. He's definitely stronger than a lot of his opponents, so I don't think he needs to just stand in the corner all the time. But that's what he's going to be doing most of the time because his shooting is absolutely huge. His floor spacing as well. What's good, Keyshawn? Salute. Knicks 26 champs. We're buzzing right now, and we're about to hit the 4th seed. I feel if we can win the next 3, I think we'll be in the 4th seed. We've got Philadelphia, then we got Washington, and then we got Portland as well. So we really just need to win the next one, and then I feel like we can take care of the next 2. And then we're only half a game back of 4th right now. So let's continue this streak and get it going, man. As we're going to talk about later in the show too, after the grades are given out, the roster balance as well. Because I'm not totally sold on Deuce McBride. I love Deuce more than anyone. I love what he brings defensively. But, my eyes tell me, man, he's just not a shot creator. We need more offense with the bench unit. And we're going to talk about some names that I think we can bring in for the cheap. Maybe a couple second-round picks. I'm looking at Detroit. There's a couple wings out there. Alec Burks is one of them. I think he could be had for a team trying to blow things up. They're definitely not going to keep Alec Burks past the deadline. I feel they're going to, try to get an asset as well. But yeah, Precious Achiuwa needs to showcase some shooting. Josh Hart can't really create a shot. Quentin Grimes has to be more aggressive, definitely. But back to OG, his second game as a New York Knick. His grade tonight as a guy who was a team high. I'm going to give OG a B+ for his performance. Team high in the plus-minus 35. Efficient from the field. I love the 2 steals, the deflections, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. So that's solid production in 34 minutes. We're not really looking for OG for huge scoring. His average is 15 points. I think it's going to hover around that. But we'll see if he does get more shots up. I guess it just depends what the defense is going to do, because that's what these guys should be doing, reading the defense first as well. Not trying to force it specifically. 26 champs. Nick says OG is what we wanted RJ and Cam to be. He's what we thought Josh Hart would be. I'm happy who we have. Definitely wish those guys well. Basically, OG has a bigger sample size in the NBA, and it's a calculated risk making the trade. Obviously, every trade is a risk, but it's a very, very calculated one in terms of the sample sizes out there for OG. It is exactly what we needed, definitely. Precious Achiuwa, his impact, we're going to talk about that. But yeah, he's looking a little rusty. like Jason says, he's looking rough. Precious Achiuwa was out of the rotation with Toronto, so he's not coming in here with the greatest of form. But I think his size is still needed. I don't want to run Taj Gibson out there right now. Precious did get a couple of nice rebounds offensively and a couple of putbacks. He just needs to be that high energy big to try to shake up the play, throw his body around and switch on defense and rebound and run the floor. I think Tom Thibodeau will be happy with that right now. But yeah, we wait to see if Precious is a guy we keep around long term. In talking about names coming in, don't forget, guys, we have the $7.5 million disabled player exception that we have applied for. Now, there's no news yet whether the NBA has approved of that. The talk is that they have to evaluate Mitchell Robinson's ability to be out for the whole season before they give us that exception. But that's some good money that we can use to get someone in. We only need to trade draft compensation, I think, to welcome a player in with that money. Or I think we might be able to just sign somebody with that money who's out there as well. So, and then there's also the traded exception we have, which is the $5 million traded exception as well. So Leon Rose ain't done. As we continue to talk about it, the next starter, right, was Dante DiVincenzo. The big ragu continues to be huge for us in his mid-level signing in the off-season. $12 million is a shrewd investment for us right now. He's looking like a deserving starting shooting guard in the league. Devo gave us the energy tonight with 5 assists, 5 rebounds. He was 4 of 10 from the field, 3 of 8 from deep on 37%, 37.5%, basically 38. 11 points and plus 18. So talk about a two-way player. DiVincenzo is big time. Look at the steal there and the assist to OG on the break. I like those two as a fit next to Brunson and Randle in the starting lineup with Isaiah. So I really feel good about our starting lineup. Barring a huge upgrade, I like what we're seeing from these guys. And DiVincenzo's been a huge player for us so far. We're only just past the third waypoint of the season, and DiVincenzo looks very comfortable now as a starting player for us. He's not hesitant. When he gets the ball, he's ready and willing to shoot it. He's switchable. Defensively, he'll really try hard. You know, sometimes he gets out-bodied. He's only 6'4", but he's got athleticism. He's got hops. He can finish on the break. He can get out on the break as well. He gets you steals. I just love his all-round game. He's from Devo, so a guy who gets you rebounds, assists, and scores. So his performance tonight, I'm going to give Devo a solid B for his performance tonight. Got the 3 of 8 from deep. I love it. You know, give him the volume, give him the shots. He'll get it up. It's just going to open the floor up for Brunson and Randle, man, even more, and those guys to operate more. Not only that, but we have 2 of the best cutters off ball in the league now with Devo and OG in the starting lineup. Those guys, the blessing for us guys is that, you know, they don't just need to stand in the corner. Once Randle and Brunson make their move, those guys can cut to the rim and sky for the offensive board, or they could sky and cut for the oop or the assist from Brunson or Randle as well if their heads up. So ball movement was great tonight, 29 assists. And DiVincenzo made his huge impact, plus 18 as well. So the starting lineup looks excellent for me. Everyone's in the plus, and everyone's making an impact on both sides of the floor as well. So enough said about that. Yeah, Vaughn says Devo's IQ is very high. Completely agree, man. You're on fire, like Ragu. Prezi says we also have the 6.8 traded exception from the Obi deal as well. I forgot about that too. So yeah, we definitely got some assets we can do, man. We're with that said, I want to sneak this in too. The Dallas Mavericks are starting to slide. So I know it's way too early to look at the standings, but the New York Knicks have their top 10 protected pick. Now the Dallas Mavericks are in 7th, and I don't know if they're going to be able to, finish any higher than that. So the pick that the Knicks might have for ourselves this year might end up being 15th. It might end up being a top 18 pick in the first round. Hell, might even be a top 12 pick if we're lucky. So I think it'd be wise to draft a young player now that our roster is going to be full of heavy salaries. But yeah, the New York Knicks could trade future picks if we do get DeJounte or Spider. But I think it's important that we keep this year's Dallas pick, because I do think it's going to be more valuable than ours. If we plan to finish in the top 4, top 5, and the Dallas Mavericks finish maybe 7th, 8th in the West, their pick is going to be more valuable to us this year. And then we could look at maybe trading the future picks for that huge upgrade as well. But yeah, we got more ammo we can cook with right now. So yeah, the starting lineup's looking great. Now let's start with the bench lineup, and let's look at Grimes's performance, because as I said earlier, the only chance we had of losing this game is the second quarter and the struggles offensively. Thankfully, we had Randle, who can play huge minutes, and help, now that Tibbs is staggering Randle and Brunson. So that helped us a little bit. But yeah, Grimes is going to be aggressive. He definitely passed the rock up too many times. So I'm looking at that closely. He went 3 of 9, 2 of 6 from deep. He was a minus 20 and 8 points and just 1 rebound and 1 steal as well. So defensively, he was solid. Does what he does, sticks with his man. Good out on the perimeter. But yeah, minus 20. He was a part of some poor lineups when they went on a run. But yeah, man, now's the time to step up. Q dot. That's all I can say right now. We need production off the bench in a major way. And I'm looking at the names. I'm looking at Deuce, Hart, Grimes, Precious, and Randle, whoever else is playing, and Sims, whoever else is playing with that lineup. And it's Grimes' lineup. He has to get ready to jack, and draw fouls, be aggressive, get to the line, don't be passive. Obviously, play a team game. If the pass is there on the dump down, if he drives, do it. But if he catches, he's got to be ready to shoot it. Make a decision snappy. If he does drive, I'd love him to be more aggressive, looking at the rim first, and see if he can finish over traffic or draw a foul. So yeah, 18 minutes. On the reports, Grimes is very, very excited for a potential new role, more ability to get on-ball reps with the bench lineup. But now's the time to produce. Because, yeah, maybe against a better team, we would have been down by more than 4 at the half. The Knicks were down 51-55 at the half off a poor second quarter. We had a 2-point lead at the half and were down by 4. So a 2-point lead at the end of the first and a 4-point deficit at the end of the half. So the New York Knicks lost that second quarter, and it was full of turnovers. OG Anunoby's foul trouble, and we had 13 turnovers at halftime. Finished with 16. Finished with 15 or 16, but we had 13 at the half. So well done to the second half for not turning it over too much. But yeah, the first half was rough, especially a lot of indecisiveness. But yeah, a lot of that's kind of early days because it's a new lineup, new role. And guys got to, just keep their head in the game and stay focused, read what the defense is doing, and just keep things simple. I think it's going to come for Grimes. I'm really excited for him to be able to get this chance. Remember, 12 months ago, he was the probably the hottest asset on the Knicks that was, maybe under 25, the hottest young player in terms of asset, and Leon kept him out of the Donovan Mitchell deal, and we all had really, really high hopes that Grimes could be, a real two-way wing in this league. Unfortunately, we saw R.J. Barrett's Knick career come to an end. Emmanuel Quickley's Knick career come to an end. I said it in the last show. I think Quentin Grimes' Knick future is unwritten yet. What I mean by that is, it's up to him, right? If he continues to be a non-factor, he'll find himself in the next trade discussion. But if he starts to produce off the bench exactly like what we need, and score, and be consistent, then I think he's definitely going to be a keeper. He's on another cheap salary next year. I think he's obviously got the team option. He's extension eligible in the summer as well. It's going to be a huge rest of the year for Quentin Grimes. But yeah, for you guys that do want a DeJounte Murray, Donovan Mitchell, the next big dog, there's definitely going to be a salary and a player we have to give up to please the other team. So, there is a huge scenario case where maybe Grimes is in the next trade. But for now, he's definitely got a huge situation ahead of him with the New York Knicks, an ability to get his value up, around the league. Heading into free agency, that's all a player wants, is just an ability to just get a huge role off the bench, get shots up as well. So for his performance tonight, the fact that he was minus 20, a little streaky offensively, right? I'll give Grimes a C for his performance tonight. What do you guys feel? Is that justified? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. I appreciate you all for rocking out on the streets of buzzing. Smash that like button and hit the notification bell. And we give out grades after every single game. We evaluate the players, their performances. From game to game, they definitely bounce back if they do have a bad performance. And we give them their flowers when they do. But we just call it like we see it. I root for every single player. I root for the team, the New York City name at the front of the jersey. Now, we're seeing in full effect, the business of this thing, man. People's lives have been changed. Talking from fans, from, arena workers, from announcers to beat writers, to agents, to general managers, to people that work around the NBA. This trade has shaken up the league. And now, we see how fickle sometimes this thing can be. But the beautiful thing is, there's beauty in every situation. Players get their opportunity to take it, to take these opportunities and make sure that they get a home, That's what most players want in the NBA. They just, when they retire, they want to be able to call a place home, and make sure that their legacy can live on as well. So Michael gives Grimes a B-. Salute. Tay says, I think ATL would be happy just to recoup their 3 picks. I'm thinking the same thing. I think they would probably like still a young player, maybe a throw-in, but they would prefer the picks as well. What I'm hearing is, Atlanta situation specifically, their salary cap is in a tough situation, and if they do trade DeJounte Murray, they'll be happy to get that $25 million off the books for Evan Fournier's expiring. And then obviously Grimes is not making much as well, so they might be able to fit that in as well. But I would love to see Quentin Grimes stick, but I'm not married to any player at the moment. It's performance based. So yeah, we wait to see moving ahead, as this thing could happen in a blink of an eye. As we saw, we're headed to the trade deadline now, and anything can happen, as the New York Knicks are ready now to win. We made a statement around the East and the league that we're not sitting pat. We're not sitting on our hands, waiting for the next team to get stronger. Talking about the Magic, the Pacers, the Heat, right? We want to be up there. We don't want to go backwards. So this year, the New York Knicks are going all in on a deep playoff run and home court. So let's get it. Now, Hart's game tonight, he was 1 of 5 in 25 minutes, 5 boards, 1 of them offensive, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 fouls, just 3 points, and a +2. So, pretty standard game from Hart. He had some boneheaded plays. Obviously, the one where he threw that pass, man, into the 10th row. We were all in shock with that one. I don't know if he was been working out too much, or he's flexing. But yeah, that ball was just way too strong for anybody to catch. But yeah, I thought Hart's been a little down after hitting a great patch of form. I think Hart's been a little down recently in terms of consistency. I like the 3 assists. I like the 5 rebounds. You know, he didn't get that many minutes. I think this is the new Josh Hart we might see with OG here now. 25 minutes. When he's hitting shots, it's great. 1 of 2 from deep. That's fine. If he continues to hit the open shot, that's gravy. 3 points +2. You know, Hart is the glue guy. Definitely a guy who we're going to need to do a little bit of scoring. I think off the bench too. Would love to see him aggressive. Just like I said with Grimes, be willing to shoot it, dribble, drive. Just don't be too passive. Once he pump fakes a little bit, he starts to get hesitant. You know, 4 seconds go off the shot clock. You know, and then we find ourselves in a world of trouble. You know, offensively in the bench lineup. So yeah, Hart's got to make quick decisions and be willing to move the ball quickly or shoot it and run the break. Just stick to the basics as well. So not a great game from Hart tonight. I'll give Hart a C+ for his performance tonight. I do need to see obviously this new lineup, the chemistry of this team now in a bigger sample. It's only been 2 games. I think these guys are going to do well adjusting, but I think it's going to be at least 5 to 10 games until they hit their stride as well. If we can continue winning in the meantime, that's just excellent. So yeah, it's not easy playing different minutes, playing with new guys, you know, and different things that the coach is asking of you now. And like I talked about, Hart is going to have to be relied upon for scoring a little bit more. When you're looking at lineups like Deuce, Grimes, Hart, Precious Achiuwa off the bench, there's not a lot of scoring there, fam. So let's see what Hart can do. But yeah, happy for the win, Shirley. Salute. Knicks Nation. We're 2-0 after this big trade. As I said earlier, we shouted out Barrett and Quickly for their big win again in Memphis on the road. Quickly balled out. Barrett was solid tonight. But OG Anunoby been very solid in his 2 performances, 2 wins for us. And Precious Achiuwa looked better tonight than last game as well. So we're about to talk about Precious now, as we've hit on Grimes and Hart off the bench. And then we'll talk about Deuce McBride to recap, and then Tibbs, the officials, and then we look at the road ahead now. But yeah, man, Precious Achiuwa, interesting game, 11 minutes, 2 of 2 from the field, 100%. 2 putbacks under the bucket. He got the spillage, the ball, offensive boards for 4 points. So yeah, positioning is going to be key for Precious. What I want to see from him is reading the game better. There's been talk that he's not been the highest IQ guy coming out of Toronto and Miami. He's been relied upon for his athleticism, his abilities physically, which is exactly what we need with the bench lineup and the backup big man. But where I think he can really thrive is being in that position for the putbacks, cutting when needed to finish in traffic. Maybe doing popping out to the 3 once in a blue moon, for the pick and pop. those kind of things, because he can shoot it. So he's not going to get a whole lot of reps. He's not going to get a whole lot of opportunities, but he has to be ready to seize those chances when they come, and like I said, be in the right position. Also, I love to see him crash the glass like he did tonight. That's going to be a huge win for the Knicks. 2 offensive rebounds resulted in 4 points. So that's a pretty damn good strike rate. Now, he did look a little rough for the rest of the patch. Obviously, he's still figuring out where to be on the floor, where to be, when to set the screen, where to cut, all of those things. It's still so early as well. So I don't want to be any overreactive or harsh on any player. He's new. He's figuring things out as well. But look, from everything that I saw, it was solid in 11 minutes. We just need that extra live body, a guy who can crash the glass as well. So I'll give Precious a C on limited sample. But yeah, I do think he can really factor in to this season. I don't think he's going to get traded. I think he'll stick. I think he's the backup big man. Probably 11 to 15 minutes. Obviously, Jericho Sims is cleared to play. Jericho got in late in garbage time, 1 minute. And then we mentioned beloved Taj Gibson, a guy who should be break glass in case of emergency. So Precious Achiuwa, for what he's achieved in the league and his pedigree, he should be the preferred backup right now. But he's going to get a chance to produce. So let's see what he does with these minutes. But yeah, I like his positioning on the glass. He was battling Drummond. That's no easy situation as well. So we take that into account with that. He's only 6'8", and he's there for his long wingspan, 7 feet, 9 feet standing reach. With that, now Deuce McBride, a guy I want to talk about quite a bit because I mentioned Malachi Flynn earlier. He's dealing with a minor ankle issue on the right side. Now Malachi is coming in with more offensive skill set, in my opinion, but defensively we know Deuce McBride's way superior. So what does the bench lineup need? It needs a little bit more offense. So Deuce is going to get that chance. Like I said with Grimes, he's going to have to not hesitate. I don't really care about playmaking so much with Deuce. There's literally not many people to set up off the bench. You're talking about Grimes, Hart, Precious Achiuwa, and then Randle or Brunson, whoever else is being staggered. What McBride needs to do is balance his skill set out a little bit offensively with the mid-range, catch and shoot from 3. He got 1 of 2 tonight, so that was good. Minus 15 though in 9 minutes. The bench, the whole lineup struggled. So yeah, Deuce just got to be more aggressive, hit shots, and I think he'll continue to keep that spot. I'm looking at maybe 8 to 10 points per game, hopefully 1 or 2 threes. Would be like to see him get to the line a little bit, be more aggressive. Him and Grimes, Hart, none of them got to the line off the bench. It's no wonder they struggled to score. So, yeah, guys got to be aggressive, get to the cup, get fouled. You can't just be jump shooting off the bench. So, I didn't really see much from Deuce tonight. I need to see more. So, I'm going to give Deuce a C- for tonight and his performance. Would love to see him be more aggressive offensively. Right, literally the bench needs offense. He only put up 3 attempts in 9 minutes. I think we did force feed Randle a little bit too much, which is why we got into that funk as well. We were a little bit too stagnant as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing Deuce hopefully take this opportunity, and we wait to see what happens with Malachi Flynn as well. Now, guys, Tom Thibodeau, as Shirley says, missing IQ off the Knicks bench. Wish they could have found a way to keep him, but you know it's all business. Yeah, you said it. That's how every single fan feels right now. I think you summed it up. Seeing IQ thrive is going to be pleasing for him. Like tonight, he helped Toronto pull off a huge win, but for us, we're just going to have to find a way to replace what he provided, which is what I talked about with a potential target in Alec Burks. We know he's familiar with the situation. He's been with us before. He's been a spark plug off the bench before. He's bigger. He can rise up and pull up from the three exactly like IQ could. He can post up a smaller guard on the block. And I think Detroit's going to be a fire sale. And I think, maybe you could get Alec Burks for 2 second-round picks or something. I would pull the trigger on that ASAP, me personally. If not Burks, if you're not a fan of him, a player like that, you could throw out a lot of names. I'm sure I'll probably agree with you. But we all know what we need, which is, a pull-up threat off the bench as well. As this roster needs a little bit more tweaking with the bench lineup. Obviously, if we do get DeJounte Murray or Spider sooner than expected, then that's going to be fine too, because that's going to push DiVincenzo back to the bench, and that's going to give the bench what it needs as well. But yeah, tonight, Tom Thibodeau, what do you guys think about Tibbs' game? What do you want to give Tibbs? Like I said, he's adjusting to life without Quickly. Obviously, you can't just replace that. And the scoring from RJ Barrett, the production that those guys bring. OG Anunoby was okay offensively. 11 points is totally fine with his defense. We need the offense now too. So I like the fact that Tibbs is doing what's necessary. Stagger Brunson and Randle. Maybe it would be wise to do it the opposite way, like he did tonight. I don't think Randle fit with the bench lineup very well. Deuce McBride's a really good perimeter defender. You could have him next to Jalen Brunson if Brunson is the guy who hangs back and plays with the bench lineup a little more. And then Precious Achiuwa might have a little bit more space to shoot. I just felt it was clunky. With the lineups being staggered as well. It was clunky. So, but yeah, I think Tibbs is doing an okay job right now with doing what he needs to do to stagger these lineups. We wait to see what he does as the Knicks change their roster further later in the year. I feel like another move at least is coming, whether it's a minor move or a major move. I think there's more to do here. As we mentioned, guys, the Knicks have the exceptions. They have other picks they can move. They have, obviously, some of the pieces with Fournier, with Deuce, with Grimes, possibly. Maybe even Mitchell Robinson becomes a trade candidate. I don't think it's likely, but nothing would surprise me now. So that was Tibbs. Now, the new feature of the show is the officials. Now we give the grades to officials as well. Tonight was Scott Foster. Missed a huge blatant foul on Josh Hart, the crew. And luckily, Tom Thibodeau had his challenge still available, and we won the challenge. So I've got to give Tibbs a shout out for that too. That's why he also got a B. But the officials, another day, another game, another poor performance once again. What else is new? And I thought, obviously 2 early fouls on OG. I thought they were hacking Jalen Brunson. Julius Randle was also getting a little frustrated as well. So the officials will get a D for me tonight. They've got to be better. Can't be missing blatant fouls at the cup like that. It could hurt someone's safety or somebody's health at the end of the day as well. So, like I said, man, another day, another poor performance from the officials, and we're just lucky it didn't cost us the game too. So that was pleasing, and that is the grades for today's game. A big win, crushing the former rival, not a current rival, but former rival Bulls. If you grew up as a Knicks fan in the 80s, 90s, you know all about it, fam. So it's always good to give punishment to a franchise that's struggling right now. They're going to trade Zach LaVine probably to the Lakers. They're going to trade DeMar at some point, maybe even to us. Who knows? But they're going to blow it up. So I feel like they're going to make huge changes. But we're on the right path. This is OG shot chart once again. All those buckets literally in the restricted area. And then the corner three, which he's coming in at 43% shooting tonight as well. With DiVincenzo also shooting 45% plus in the corner as well. Great floor spacing for Brunson and Randle to go to work. So officially the Randle and Brunson all-star campaign is underway. And I think those guys are going to put up 30 pieces almost every single night now that they're getting more minutes, more reps with the bench as well. But yeah, OG second game, let us know what you liked about it. Another reminder that a podcast will be dropping with a big guest tomorrow afternoon, where I'll be talking to them about this move, what's next for the New York Knicks, how do they feel we stack up around the league in the East now, and where to from here. It's exciting times for Knicks Nation, and can't wait to get their thoughts on this big move. Moving ahead, the New York Knicks have fuller momentum now as we let these guys settle in more. I think all three guys can really be a factor. It is known as the OG trade to me, but I think Precious Achiuwa has his clear role on this team, and I think no one's taking that role from him right now. I don't see it. I don't see Jericho coming in, taking that spot. I don't see Taj Gibson getting major minutes either. So, Precious Achiuwa is a better offensive player than Sims. If he can hold his own defensively and be switchable, he's going to get those minutes. And he's going to get a chance to stick, possibly with us in the future as well. Now, Malachi Flynn is also a guy who brings a different skill set to Deuce McBride. He brings offensively the shooting. He can pull up. He shoots the three better than Deuce. He's a little smaller though. He's 6'1". Deuce is coming in at 6'2". Deuce is tougher defensively, and I think Deuce has Tibbs' trust right now. But we obviously will wait and see what shakes out as the games come thick and fast. We're going to need Deuce to step up, offensively. I think he's capable of doing it. I wouldn't put my house on it. I think, it's tough in this league. One of the roles that people do gloss over is the quickly role, around the league. It's an important role for a guy to be able to come in, and steer the ship, offensively and defensively off the bench. It's a completely different tempo, a completely different pace as well. You need to come in, you need to run the floor and put up points, set up your teammates. It's not easy. But if anyone can do it, Deuce McBride's in his fourth year now, or third year or fourth year. He's had playoff experience, and I think, if the 3-point shot is real, and he's willing to let it fly, then I think he can thrive in this role. But the other guys around him have definitely got to make things easier as well. The fact that Hart and Grimes can both dribble is big. Now, I saw a few times Deuce struggle bringing it up with pressure up the court. I would love a Grimes or a Hart to sometimes just take over every now and then, take over a ball handling up the court, and get Deuce off the ball a little bit. He can run around the curl, off the dribble, handoff, then get it, receive it, pass it back, and then maybe try to get Deuce downhill a little bit, vice versa as well. That's the key to get good points off the bench. Not be a half-court team too much. Run and gun. Ain't no one really want to play defense in the NBA anymore. If you want to get points, do what Indiana does, which is run and gun off the bench. That's one of the aspects that Quickly understood as well. You don't see Quickly. You rarely ever saw Quickly walk the ball up the court. He was at a half pace, 3/4 pace most of the time, and he was getting downhill as well. Now, when Deuce McBride's got a guy stuck on him running the ball up the court, that's going to be tough. Getting into the half court set late. So yeah, we do need to push it off makes. That's another key trick that some offenses do. Once the other team scores, you get it inbound, you get it up the court real quick, and you try to get the breakdown as well. But yeah, I've seen some highlights of Malachi Flynn. He's a guy who ain't afraid to shoot it either. He's got experience in the league. I think he's been in the league 3 years now as well. But yeah, he's just not right. He's got the ankle situation as well. So with that said, what are some names you guys would like to see? One of them is Alec Burks, like I said as well. What's good? Kentrell, salute. Run and gun, don't win championships, and I salute you with that. Yeah, appreciate your thoughts on that situation. I think with the bench lineup, it's still good to get out there, run and gun. But yeah, with other names, maybe Malcolm Brogdon, maybe Bogdanovich with the Pistons, but he's going to cost more. I don't see them giving up him cheap, right? There's going to be some teams look at him, as especially contenders, as a guy who's a real piece. So yeah, I would outside of a big Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte deal, blockbuster deal, if we're just trying to upgrade the bench, I would look at guys we could get for maybe a second round pick, a couple second rounders. There ain't no way the Knicks are parting with a first rounder, in my opinion, just to upgrade the bench. I think we're saving all those firsts for either the blockbuster in the summer or at the deadline, whether it's Levine, DeRozan, Donovan, DeJounte, 4Ds with those guys, or a spark plug off the bench. I think that would, give really good balance to this roster. What's Michael thinking with this? CT, we need to slash more as a team and pick and roll. Yes, sir. Yeah, we need less isolation. As I mentioned, do you guys agree? I didn't like that look with Randle with the bench. It was all back to the basket kind of stuff with 4 guys standing around. So yeah, it's going to be interesting with that situation. Buzzer says, why would we want Burks back? We need buckets, man. We need buckets off the bench, right? Who's scoring off the bench? Let me know, right? Is Grimes can be relied upon? Can Precious Achiuwa and Josh Hart be relied upon? I'm not sold on that. If Burks can be had for a second rounder, I think he fits, with the second unit well. Not with the first unit, but with the second unit as well. So, but, a Malcolm Brogdon, is a heavy salary. He's expiring soon, but he might require, Portland might need to get a first rounder for him. There might be a contender give up a late first for a Brogdon as well. So we might get priced out of that market. We wait and see. But yeah, if we are going for a bigger upgrade, the names I like are Jeremy Grant. I think he fits. We could definitely stagger the lineups, but he's getting paid a lot. I like a Brogdon. I do think Bogdanovich would fit really nicely as well. We could maybe push Devo back to the bench. Some other names, maybe a Bones Highland. a Bones Highland could be had from LA. He's obviously coming in with scoring abilities. Obviously the experience as well. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. Tay says Knicks low key looking at Mini and Philly and how they do in the playoffs. Yep, there's talk about Minnesota, their salary situation. Karl Anthony Towns was mentioned by Shams. As Buzzer Beater also mentioned in the comments last show, too, we're looking at a potential situation where Karl Anthony Towns is traded in the summer. I don't see them trading him this year. They're the first seed in the West, so I don't think they're shaking it up unless it's in the summer. So yeah, he's a name. Burke's off the bench, definitely. That's the only situation I see. But yeah, I think Deuce is going to get his chance. Grimes is going to get his chance as well. I'm all for giving these guys the first chance, right? That's my thoughts. But I don't feel overly confident that they're going to be able to produce when the defense, clamps us down as well. Quickly scoring is hugely underrated off the bench. We needed a significant bucket getter as well. Of course, we could continue to stagger the lineups maybe and play Brunson and Devo more with the bench. Obviously, sub him out sooner as well. That's a big possibility as well, guys. But yeah, we continue to talk about it. I love to hear the names that you guys have. OG Anunoby, second game as a New York Knick. Solid performance. He got a B+ for me. And I think he's just settling in nicely. And I do feel like his defense tonight was on full effect. So that was really, really important to see once again why we did this deal. He's a guy that's going to help shut down the best scorer. And that's exactly what he did. DeMar DeRozan was ineffective later in the game. So, yep. Now we look at the standings. As the New York Knicks are coming in at 19 and 15, 7.5 games back of first, but half a game back of the Heat, half a game back of the Magic, half a game off the Pacers, fam. All of them are 19 and 14. We are 19 and 15. Don't forget, we lost to the Thunder, we lost to the Magic, and we lost to the Pacers recently. If we had just won one of those games, we would be in 4th seed right now. That's how close things are, ladies and gentlemen, in the East. And I think we could really get 4th this season. That was my prediction early. I predicted we would make a move in season. And we're going to ride this wave, fam. Now, the 3rd seed is a little tricky. Philadelphia's built a nice cushion. We're 4 game back of Philly in 3rd. But to be honest, 3rd, that would be highly, that would be gravy. I didn't expect that. That would be highly unexpected for me coming into the season. But 4th, home court is still a huge factor. And at the end of the day, when we do make the playoffs, we're going to be hustling against, to beat the Heats, the Magic, the Pacers, all of those teams. We're going to have to outlast to get to the 4th seed as well. The good thing is we have more games coming up against the Magic, and we have more games coming up against the Heat. And I think we have a few more against the Pacers as well. So we just got to take care of business against those teams and win the tiebreaker as well. So that's going to be huge. Michael suggests Cam Thomas from Brooklyn. Great name, man. Great name. I don't know if Brooklyn's willing to move on from Cam Thomas. He's a big young piece for them, fam. But yeah, he would be a good fit. Obviously, for a blockbuster trade too, Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges would fit for me, just like DeJounte and a Spider as well. also, after seeing tonight, DeMar DeRozan swishing the three ball, maybe the Knicks look at him as a situation worth exploring if it could be for the cheap. What I mean by that is, let's say, for example, Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland ask for 4 firsts, right? Let's say DeJounte Murray can cost you 3 firsts. But let's say DeMar DeRozan can be had for 1 first and 1 protected first. I mean, that's a big upgrade still as well. Right, I got to salute DeMar's game. He's still very efficient offensively. He's still a big-time player. It's all depending on what you're willing to give up. If he could be had for cheaper, it might be something Leon Rose looks at. He's not my first preference. He's just a name. But obviously, we would have more picks available for the next big deal. For example, if Cat was to come available, and we needed 3 firsts to give up for him, and we only gave up 1 first for DeMar DeRozan, then we might be able to spread the wealth around. That might be something worth looking at. Yeah, absolutely, man. The Bucks have, the Pacers have the Bucks number, like Michael says, as we bring up the action from today. Some huge games. Now, things are looking great for us right now as the Kings hopefully beat the Magic, and then we'll be tied. They have the tiebreaker with us right now, but we will be tied in record with the Orlando Magic if they lose. 1 minute remaining, and 3 points up for the Kings. Shout out. Now, unfortunately, man, the Lakers stink, and the Heat are about to get another win, so they'll go to 20-14, and we will go a full 1 game back of the Heat in 4th. The Pacers obviously beat the Bucks, like Michael said. The Cavs needed this win, so that was big time for them. The Wizards, we need to play the Wizards, which we do coming up on Saturday. Yeah, we need to play these bad teams more, man. Detroit, Wizards. Seems like all these East teams continue to play the Wizards and the Pistons. Right, I can't wait for our schedule later in the year to get better. Huge win for the Pels. And of course, like I said, the Raptors, 25 points from Emmanuel Quickley. RJ Barrett, I think, put in 18 or 20 points. He had a big performance as well. The Raptors show that it's a good fit for them. A couple of scorers that can produce off the bounce is big time for them. The Nets picked up another loss. That's good. Portland, who we see on Tuesday, picked up a loss. The Knicks' big win. 2 games in a row now after the trade. Look at this game, man. No defense. 148 to 154. Battle of 2 atrocious cellar-dwelling teams that are bound for the lottery. And big-time win for the Clippers. The Suns are in a world of trouble right now. As we look at the standings in the West, the Suns are in 9 at 18-16, and the Lakers' loss tonight puts them just inside the play-in by half a game. The Warriors beat the Magic yesterday, so that's huge. And of course, the Jazz Grizz are way back. The Grizzlies lost to the Raptors today. Man, they are 6 games back of the play-in. It's still possible with Ja Morant, but they're going to have to go on a huge win streak, man, to make up 6 games. So that Ja Morant suspension is proven costly for the season in total. For the Grizzlies too, fam. It's a sad story, but look, they'll bounce back. They've obviously got the talent. They just had obviously the slow start. So, but yeah, I like the Warriors win over the Magic yesterday. That helped us a lot. As I mentioned earlier, in terms of the draft, the Dallas Mavericks draft pick is coming to the Knicks this year. I don't see them being in the top 10 worst teams, but if they're right outside the bubble of the 10th worst team, the New York Knicks are going to get an amazing draft pick this year, possibly top 12, top 14, top 16 draft pick for the New York Knicks. If we do end up trading one of our picks this year in a DeJounte Mitchell blockbuster or something else, I think we're going to trade our pick, because it's looking like we're going to, climb the East, maybe finish 6th, 5th, 4th, and I do think the Mavericks pick is going to be better than our own pick this year. So let's see. Maybe we end up drafting both of them and start to trade some of these future picks. I do think we do need young talent. Obviously, Quickly has left. Barrett has left. If big salaries are coming in with OG, we're going to pay him. And then we're also maybe pulling off another huge trade for another big salary. That it's only beneficial for the Knicks to have some smaller salary on a cost control rookie contract. So yeah, that's going to be big. So yeah, let's start to watch out for the Dallas Mavericks now as we enter the second phase of the season. The New York Knicks have 2 first-round draft picks this year. We traded the second-round pick that's coming from Detroit. We do still have one other second-round pick, which is the Utah Jazz pick. So we do still have a decent second-rounder that's coming. It's probably going to be, maybe pick 37, 38, maybe 36. There's still a very solid second-round pick. But I'm watching for the first-round draft picks as well. We'll have guests on, and we'll be doing draft coverage as we enter, February, March Madness, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be having the best in the biz that cover the draft, because this year I feel like the New York Knicks will be in the draft. I don't think we're going to punt on the draft 3 years running. We're obviously top heavy in talent now. Once we make another trade, we're going to be even more top heavy. So yeah, we're gonna get these prospects in. Another reminder: tomorrow afternoon, probably by 4:30, 5 p.m., I'll upload the podcast with a national NBA guest talking about the OG Anunoby trade. And it's going to be great to get their thoughts on this situation and the Knicks' momentum heading into the second phase of the season, guys. But yeah, as we look again with the East, now that the Heat pulled off a win, the Cavs won. I do want to see the adjustment in the table. It does look like the Cavs are still below the Knicks at 19 and 15, despite the win. The Knicks are still there, tied for 7th, but half a game off the Pacers, half a game off the Magic, which is huge. Doesn't look like they've updated the Heat yet, who will go 20 and 14 with the win tonight. In fact, maybe the Cavs are 20 and let's check. Let's check the Cavs to see if they're 20 and 15, because sometimes the NBA just doesn't update this fast enough, fam. So we do have to check. Right, where are we at? Okay, so yeah, the Cavs. Okay, yeah, the Cavs are still tied with the Knicks, 19 and 15. Right? Looks like we're headed to overtime. So the Magic equaled the scores with 3 points down. This thing's going to OT, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope the Kings can pull that one out. That would be great for the New York Knicks. Yep. And then the Heat's win as well. Although, it's not exactly a big win beating the Lakers for him, as we know. They're a team that is badly in need of another shake-up. once again, LeBron James is playing great basketball, but they need help. With that said, man, Michael says we must get a replacement guy for IQ and another Obi. Energy guy. I hope Precious Achiuwa can be that guy. But in terms of IQ, man, yeah, we need a guy like an Alec Burks who can pull up as well. Yeah, salute to you, Tay. Replay squad. The chat's buzzing right now. We're 2-0 in the OG era. It's a great time to be a fan. An emotional time, I know. This is a big trade, and this was, maybe some of Knicks Nation's first major trade. We have fans that are 10 years old. We have fans that are 13 years old. RJ Barrett quickly, that they're the heroes. That's all that they know. I understand the business of this thing. It's tough sometimes. What I was thinking to myself the other day was that, as part of our fandom growing up, we've had to do some of the best trades and some of the toughest trades. We traded arguably the greatest New York Knick ever, which never should have happened, Patrick Ewing. But the fact is the fact. We traded him. We traded for John Starks. John Starks for Latrell Sprewell. Right. Talk about a trade that was tough, but did benefit the New York Knicks. We had to trade for Allen Houston as well. So trades have and always will be a part of our fandom and a part of the business side of things. And we wish these guys well. But at the end of the day, right, I support the team, and whoever is wearing that jersey will always get my support. And in terms of the Knicks that we sent out, Quickly and Barrett, they'll always have my respect. They'll always have my support wherever they're at, but just not the same way that the players will have that currently wear the New York Knicks jersey. So that's the perfect way to describe it, in my opinion, right? Business is business, and I think there'll be more deals, right? In 20 years' time, it'll be a brand new New York Knicks team. In 30 years' time, there'll be a brand new, different Knicks team, and the story goes on. Right, the story goes on Broadway, ladies and gentlemen, as we're searching for the first championship in 51 years now that we're 2024. Right, we talked about the Patrick Ewings, Bernard Kings tonight, Carmelo Anthony's, the sacrifices people make to try and win a championship for this team. This front office is trying their best to bring another championship to Broadway and New York City, and it's not easy. The NBA is the toughest league to win in, right? But we're on the right track. Let's see how this season pans out. But we're 2-0 in the OG era, the new era Knicks. And let's get it on Friday night, Knicks versus Philly in the city of brotherly love. And I feel good about that game coming in. We've got the matchups now. We've got Randle and OG at the power forward spots that can guard the big men as well. And it's going to be a great matchup. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I appreciate your support. Once again, smash that like button, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. And a shout out to all the content creators as well. I appreciate what everyone does for Knicks Nation, whether you're just a person in the chat giving your opinions, whether you're on the panel, whether you're someone who does more than that. And let's get it, Knicks Nation. Salute, salute, salute. See you on Friday. But also look out tomorrow afternoon for the podcast that's going to drop.